Hello, Steve White, Steve White's 89. Well, we've had a little bit of movement with the Master Universe Origin Snake Mountain playset. It appears to have been listed on Amazon, and a few other websites seem to have information about it. Apparently it's going to be released in August, sent out in August, and they're doing pre-orders and stuff like that now. And it looks much better now than the earlier versions that we saw. It was this. The early ones were this grey, weird sort of looking mountain, and the additional parts seemed totally separate, and the snake was just huge and just weird and disproportionate and sticking out. And I'm like, they told us this is not the final version. I'm like, thank God, because I wouldn't have thought a prototype would have made it to that level and been shown like that, but at least we knew it wasn't finished. Now this version does look a lot better. It's the right colour plastic, it's the right amount of paint. With the the grey, whatever it is, I don't know what it is. But the thing that confuses me, and it kind of frustrates me, because one of the things I liked about the original Snake Mountain is, even though it had that weird little gateway sort of thing at the top, which didn't seem to, seemed a bit odd, at least it all closed off like an actual mountain. And what they've done is they've put this addition on, which is basically, instead of just the little gateway, it's like a peaked, spiky sort of mountain with the gateway built into it. And it's moulded in grey plastic, and they've painted it the same colour as the rest of the set. But they've only done one side of it. And one of the things that I didn't like about the original Castle Grayskull was they sculpted it very much as a two-wall castle. They didn't really sculpt it to join together. So when you look at the back, even though it only would have taken adding a few more bricks, so the back would cover the back of the front, they didn't, and they just had this little section where you can sort of see down into the castle, and you can see it doesn't sort of link and close and match up, and I just never liked that. And one of the things I loved about the Origins one, I mean, they did it with the Classics one first, but with the Origins one, which I actually bought and own, I don't own the Classics one, they actually have the castle close up and match off, and it sort of makes it more like a solid object, like a castle when you actually have it closed off. It doesn't sort of feel like two halves of a playset. And they went and did that with Snake Mountain, because now they've got this big addition on the top, and like the gateway sort of thing that sort of just sat up there and didn't really have a back and didn't sort of make a lot of sense, at least you could just sort of imagine it was just built on top of the mountain, whereas now we've got half of the mountain, and you can see into the back of it, you can see that it's dark plastic, and I'm like, why didn't they build another attachment for the other side so they could extend the height of both sides and maybe put a little room in there or something, and then have it close off so it's actually like a solid mountain that closes. It's like they added something to it, because it does look interesting from that side. One side is a castle, but when you look at the other side, it just looks half made and half done, and it's sort of repeating a mistake they made with the first Castle Grayskull that they fixed. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, the good thing about it is it has some additional stuff. Now, one of the descriptions says it has two figures, but we've seen no sight of that. Now, there is a spider, which could be considered a figure, and then there's these two little dragons which seem to be drowning in the acid in the bottom of the castle, which or slime or whatever it is. I guess it's slime. Someone said it was acid, and the people would melt in it. I think that was sort of the idea with the original, that they would fall through the trapdoor, and if they didn't land in the net, which is mysteriously missing, they would fall into the acid, I guess. But it could be slime, I don't know, because, Snake Mountain, slime pit, slime, blah, blah, blah. I always thought that Snake Mountain had slime in it, but whatever. So there's that, and they actually attach onto the bottom of the bottom floor, and they actually are like just these two little figures just sort of half sticking out of this little pool of slime. But they have a cage that hangs just under the trapdoor to catch characters in, or you can put that on the other side like a dungeon. And they have Skeletor's throne, the bone throne, which is awesome, but I was expecting them to have that table because that's what's been made for fans. You can get the bone throne and the table together, and I'm like, why wouldn't they have the table so you can play out that scene and have all the villains standing around the table and all that? I don't know why they didn't do that. So that's the one thing that disappoints me about it. But that's sort of it. Like, where's the table? Why is there no back to the new edition? Doesn't make a lot of sense. But the extra interiors, having a floor, a second level, and that's all really good. I'm probably going to buy it, but it's not perfect. Their Castle Grayskull is kind of perfect. This is good. They added some stuff. It's interesting, but they sort of left some stuff and sort of created a problem that wasn't there before. So, and it's only, I think, $80 US, so that's pretty good. I think I'm going to get it. But yeah, just a bit confused. And I'm wondering, does it actually have some figures that we're going to see later, or were they talking about the little monsters and the spider?